season, Week 17 is underway. Now it's Adam Humphries on the return. A lane opens here. He's past the 30.
Adam Humphries on the return.
So out comes the Washington offense onto the field. They'll be led out by a man who rewrote Brett Favre's passing records at Southern Miss. It's Nick Mullins.
Would you say that last week's performance by him, workmanlike in terms of numbers?
One touchdown, one pick, but obviously a loss.
Yeah, that's the bottom line for him. All he cares about is how do we find a way to win the game. Maybe leans on a few other parts of the offense, and hopefully springs a receiver or two free.
Well, this crowd does not like that call.
Understandable reaction from them. That's their team that the penalty's going against. But you and I both know they're going to take care of the quarterback.
On play action, they'll throw. And he's going to go down here, a sack. They push him back to the 34. A bad start there, a big loss on their first play from scrimmage. It's second down.
Second down.
Now this one over the middle into the hands of his tight end, complete.
Mullins pass.
It'll be a pickup of 15 as that'll lead to third down. Third play here this opening drive as they're up against a 3rd and 5.
Third down.
Fourth down now looming after Philly's defense stands tall in coverage.
Has to be a little bit of frustration there. Back-to-back incompletions. Receivers blanketed on both attempts. This time on third down.
And Hopkins' kick is good. And it's 3-0 Washington.
Washington 3.
Never ideal conditions in the snow for a kicker, but the first test on the opening drive, he passed it.
He certainly did. You know what the unit told me was their biggest issue playing in the snow? You just worry about something getting in your eye as the ball is snapped, and then you might miss it, and there goes 3 points off the board.
Now we get a look at Jalen Hurts, a surprise second-round pick back in April, as he gets set to operate this Philadelphia Eagles offense. Hurts and the Eagles come up here 1st and 10, just shy of the 30. He'll set up to throw. Caught by the tight end Hurts. And they get it down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line.
Good.
Give him 13 yards on the opening play of the drive and also give him a first down.
42-yard line.
They will run for the first time with Miles Sanders. And he'll take this for about 4 up to the 46-yard line.
He was tackled.
The numbers for Sanders last week, just downright unbelievable. I mean, when you amass that many yards, I don't know what else to say.
Personally, I thought it was a game for the ages for him. Ripped off some long runs in that contest, didn't he?
He did indeed. Some very long runs, and that total, scary.
Miles Sanders.
Another fine carry from the NFL's rushing leader, and quarterbacks typically dominating the MVP balloting, but I think you got to give this guy serious consideration, don't you?
I agree totally. I mean, he's leading the league in rushing, and let's face it, partner, the running back renaissance in the NFL, it's real, and it's really helping teams along the way. He's a prime example. You got to give him strong consideration for MVP talk.
Under pressure now, and he's going to go down. Sack back around the 8. Chase Young in there to record the second sack of his young NFL career.
At the 8-yard line.
It's a second down run with Sanders. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Philadelphia. Miles Sanders, his 21st touchdown of the season. And the Eagles have taken the lead. First quarter touchdown run. Remember this coming on the heels of his NFC Offensive Player of the Week performance that was so great last week.
Did you feel the rumble all the way up here?
The big bodies up front.
Big bodies moving people. And then, of course, charging through those great holes that were created.
Off to a great start here. Maybe looking for number 2. Adding to the hitting last week in the NFC. Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. Here's Humphries. Oh, a good return up past the 30. And all in all, a pretty solid return. Nearly got it to the 35. They'll mark him down officially at the 34. Now we'll get a stoppage here as it appears we've got an Eagle slow to get up. And in Week 17, let's hope this won't affect him for the playoffs. We'll step aside. First down run for Connor. Not going to get much. Maybe a yard. Second down. A check on the numbers last week for Connor. 17 carries, 59 yards.
They've lost a bunch of games in a row now. They've got to start thinking a little bit differently, maybe a little bit outside of the box. Find other ways to move the football.
Eagle pressure, too much this time. Down he goes.
Well, the beauty of screen passes is they take a little time to develop, and they can often hit big, but sometimes they take too long to develop, and sometimes you get sacked.
Yeah, what's perfectly called for a defense to attack a screen?
Typically a blitz, and even though people think that the screen operates against the blitz, if you have the blitz called and you still cover the screen, now that allows your blitzers to get there.
How about that? They weather the storm of a 3rd and 17 to pick up the first. On first down, he'll drop to throw. Can't get away, and he's taken down.
Sacked. A loss of 8 yards.
That's 3 sacks now, and that's not much of a surprise to me, nor should it be to you. This team, they lead the league in sacks.
Yeah, they do. This is something that we are starting to witness time and time again. Throwing middle, but it's incomplete. Thomas, the intended target, and it'll bring up 3rd down. So a look here at the key inactives, and we got this list before the game down on the field. They tell us the same thing every time, don't they? Next man up.
No excuses. Be ready to play. That's the mantra of every organization. The key is having guys on the roster who are capable of filling in and playing at a high level. That's when you know you've drafted well, scouted free agents well, and stocked your team just the way you're supposed to. I think he had to unload that one before he wanted to. He was right up in his grill. I think he was a dentist there without a license, don't you?
Just not enough time for the play to develop. Just lucky it wasn't a fumble, really. The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. And now last drive so successful with the ground game, ending in a touchdown. Do you stick with that formula?
That would be the number one thing you would think of. But so many guys now would look at it and say, we've got them set up so well for play action. Now's the time to take a shot.
Yeah.
But, you know, there was a big-time coach in the state of Ohio who once said, if you throw the ball, if you put it in the air, 3 things can happen, and 2 of them are bad. He would have kissed it on the ground.
Oh, nearly picked. Almost intercepted, but he couldn't hang on, and it's 3rd down. Here's Hurts to throw. Flush to his right. And that's going to be incomplete. The contact there enough to jar that ball free, and it brings up 4th down.
And this is what you want to see from a defense. Give up an opening drive touchdown, that's fine. But how about them going back out there, recommitting themselves to the task at hand, and forcing a 3 and out, and giving the ball back to their offense?
Yeah, call it 38 yards on the punt, no return. And it will be Washington football now with a 1st and 10. Time again to see Terry McLaurin in the Washington offense. He's within shouting distance of a 1,000-yard season, but you read the local paper this morning. There was no talk of that mark. They interviewed him, and he wasn't talking about 1,000 yards. The old cliche focused on this game. If he has a big one, he might be able to get the win and the 1,000 yards.
It seems like he just wants to let it come to him, right, as opposed to trying to force it. That's probably the right idea and the right attitude. So, game situation, play calling will dictate things. Now, how does he get there once he tries to get hot? Formations, route running, trying to get mismatches for him, different types of routes he will run downfield, short, medium, long. All those things will come into play as he tries to get to that magical number.
It'll go as a loss of a yard, so now they deal with 3rd and 11. On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. And that is intercepted by the Pro Bowl corner, Darius Slay. And he takes this one back into the end zone. And the Eagles defense gets a pick-6 TD.
It goes without saying, but I'm going to say it anyway. That's a ball he would like to have back, and it lands right in the lap of the defender from there. He doesn't have very far to go before he gets to the end zone, and he got there in a hurry.
And his kick is no good. It's an early miss. We'll see if that has any ramifications later here as the afternoon wears on. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick-6, and now the kick is away. Here's Humphries. Now a crease here as he's past the 30. And he's all the way up across the 40 and down at the 42. Great return. Nick Mullins now heading out, the subject of our players.
Now that's the kind of return you're looking for. To get to that spot on the field, that allows you to do a lot of things on offense.
And he'll be stopped up at the line of scrimmage with a flag down. Let's check on the call. That hold coming from the middle of the line, the center.
And it's difficult for him because sometimes you got people right over you, and as soon as you snap it, trying to get your hands up and block them, you can be a little bit late getting it done.
From the shotgun now, here's an inside give. That'll be a pickup of 10 as they try to recover from this 10-point deficit. 2nd and 10.
Brings up 2nd down.
So the shotgun snap to Allen. And he finds his rookie target from Memphis, Antonio Gibson. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. 12 yards there and a first down.
Gain of 12. And the Washington first down.
Working out of the shotgun. Here's Allen. And incomplete as he was knocked as he threw it. And it took the ball off course. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. To throw again. Allen. Catch here, left side, Thomas. That'll leave them with a 3rd and 2 coming up. They got 8 yards there. So 3rd and 2. This quite possibly 4-down territory, though, if they're stopped.
Let's not quibble about the gain there on 2nd down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now gives him much better opportunity to convert on 3rd down.
Only a yard on the pickup there, and it's going to leave them with a 4th down.
Defensively, we always know that he is tough in run support, and I think the way that he gets there is he understands what an offense is going to do before the ball's even snapped. A great job of scouting prior to the game.
Now they won't try and pooch it. It's a fake. And he will not even make it back to the line of scrimmage. A little trickeration there, but it doesn't fool this defense. And the Eagles defense able to hold. Hurts and the Eagles come up here 1st and 10 at the 39-yard line. He fakes the give here and looks to throw. Steps away to his left. And he's able to get this one out closer to midfield across the 45. He'll get 8 on the scramble there. It'll be 2nd and a couple.
Okay, he's not going to get the first down, but this is still a nice job of buying some time and then running to get to the sideline and get out of bounds and avoid the big hit.
And he's stopped after a gain of 1. Not enough. Still a yard to go on 3rd down.
At his 48-yard line. A gain of a yard. Brings up 3rd.
They'll try and run for it with Sanders. And he's going to run into a brick wall right in the middle of the field, and I don't think he got there. When we talk about defenders, specifically linebackers, keeping their eyes in the right spot, he had that eye down the entire time.
And you know that's not easily done because they throw a lot of misdirection at you. They try and fool you and get your eyes in the wrong place. But you're right about that one. He correctly figured that one out and made a really nice play.
So they give it up just on their side of midfield. And, yeah, I mean, a surprising decision there to go for that.
Must have a lot of confidence in his defense. Must feel like, hey, we're in great shape here because our defense can hold them because they're really outside of field goal range now. All right, the opposite team. So if you hold them here, you haven't given up any points. You may give up a punt when you're pinned down a little bit, but must have thought it was an okay spot to go for it and decided to be aggressive.
Complete to Logan.
4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
It's a 1st down Washington on a pickup of 18.
Washington.
Here's Allen on 1st and 10. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard.
Terry McLaurin.
That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1.
15-yard line.
Allen to throw once more. That's going to be caught at the 10-yard line. And he's able to work it here to the 8-yard line. First and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. They'll run here with Connor, and they'll get this from the 8 to the 5. Pick up a 3.
And Brad, they went to a nickel defense, and that's a surprise this close to the goal line, because ordinarily you use the back end of the end zone, the sidelines as extra defenders, and you want bigger people on the field to try and help against the run. I know every offense wants to start their snaps closer to the goal line, but it's actually harder to throw the ball in those situations. You throw into that tight coverage, you see what happens. Hard to get the ball in there.
And they're going to get to him, a sack. Sack back at the 9-yard line. Fletcher Cox in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year.
I'm starting to feel for that quarterback back there. I mean, you know me. Normally, don't have a lot of empathy for the QB, right? In this case, definitely been under constant duress this entire game. I don't know how he survived it back there.
And to think, there's still a long way to go in this football game.
Washington.
So 2 first-quarter field goal attempts for him, and he's converted on both.
I like the positive right there. 2 for 2. Got the points on the board. The negative side is they didn't score touchdowns. And of course, going forward in this game, that's going to be the aim. And hopefully, they'll be kicking extra points instead.
32-yard line.
Philadelphia's offense ready to give us another look. And on that last drive, went for it on 4th, turned it over. A good job by their defense, though. They held them to 3, but this offense, they've got to be a little bit better, a little bit more careful here.
And sometimes when you see these calls on 4th down, when they decide to go for it, it's not necessarily the coach saying, I believe in my offense. Sometimes the coach saying, I believe in my defense. I can afford to go for it here, because if we don't get it, I don't think we'll give up more than 3. And that's exactly what happened there.
You think that factored in?
I do. I think that he had that in his mind going into the game, that I'm going to be aggressive on offense because I know I've got a defense that can hold up their end.
After 1, it's 13-6.
With the score, Eagles 13, Washington 6.
On 1st and 10, it's Sanders. And the lane closes up quickly as he'll get about 3 down to the 38.
Sanders, the ball carrier.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7.
Yeah, I don't know if it's exactly a win-win, but if you're on offense, you'll take that kind of a run, all right? It was kind of stacked up, found a little bit of yardage, and frankly, they're pretty close to staying on schedule on offense. The playbook is still open for the coordinator.
Good.
We've seen him break off a big run already in this game, and for a second, that would look like it might be another.
Yeah, I think that any defense would say, look, we can't let him get to the 2nd level, because sometimes he'll break off the big run on his own, but oftentimes you get additional blocking at the 2nd level, which gets you deeper into the secondary.
Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Gain of a yard. Brings up 2nd and 9.
Here's Sanders.
The 19-yard line.
And he'll be taken down at the 2-yard line. Now they'll have it 1st and goal following that gain of 17.
Boy, where would these guys be without his performance on the ground? That puts him over 100 yards now for the afternoon, and I tell you, he seems to be getting stronger as the day goes along.
And he was able to shed 1 tackle, but could not get away from there. They'll get 2 out of that run, and it's going to bring up a 2nd and goal. Looking at this now, you got a couple more cracks here. This close, sneaking.
I don't think you even go into a huddle. Just line up, snap it, and fall in behind those guys into the end zone.
On 2nd down now, it's Scott. And this time he is in. Boston Scott, his 17th touchdown now on the season. And the Eagles add on to their lead.
The kicker
A strong, determined run there, Charles, to get in for 6 points.
This is why it's such a team game, isn't it? And I know it sounds really generic and it sounds almost trite, but the blocks were made up front, offensive line, collective victory at the line of scrimmage and downfield. And how about the finish to the run all the way into the end zone?
So with a missed PAT in his rearview mirror, he goes back out to kick this one off. Here's Antonio Gibson. Oh, good-looking return set up here. And they'll be set up pretty nicely here as they have it up to the 35-yard line.
Take over 1st and 10.
Out there set ready for this next drive, the Washington offense. You know, in our research packet this week, prepping for the game, so many articles from the local beat writer about the offensive struggles of this team and what will they do this offseason. What do you think they'll do?
Well, number one, they'll turn to their self-scouting report. And every team that's any good does this. They have outside groups, check out their team, scout them, and tell you who can play, who can't play, and reasons why. Some of it may just be health. They have to get some guys healthy and back out on the field. But overall, evaluate this squad and make the changes that you need to.
15 yards to pick up. 1st down, Washington. On 1st and 10 is Connor. Credit the tackle to Darius Slay. The 1st down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5.
It's a gain of 5. Brings up 2nd and 5 at the 34-yard line.
From the shotgun now, here's an inside give. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It'll go down as a 2-yard loss, and it brings up a 3rd down.
And it's 3rd down.
From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. He finds Humphries. And he has another 1st down as they'll get the ball down to the Eagles' 21.
A gain of
15 yards to pick up. 1st down, Washington. Now a play fake here on 1st down. Nowhere to turn this time, and he goes down. Sacked back at the 29. Fletcher Cox, he's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year. They come up on 2nd and long, and the pass protection just has not been there this afternoon. The throw over the middle, taken in. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets them up for 3rd down.
Fired that one in there, able to make connection on a nice in route.
With those faster passes and they're going that fast, any hesitation as a quarterback that the deflection, if you miss, might be bigger and lead to an interception. And he's going to be taken down here. A sack back at the 32.
You called plenty of games in your career. Do you believe in momentum, my man?
I do, and I think we're seeing it right here.
No, there's no doubt about it. The run that he's been on. How about that? 3 sacks in a game a week ago, and another one right here. Oh, he's feeling it in a big way.
And this one is right down Broadway. And that gets him back within 10.
Score Eagles 19. Washington 9.
So as it turns out, that sack doesn't wind up costing them, Charles. They at least get points, get 3 of them.
Yeah, that's where your kicker can really come to your rescue because, you know, after the sack, there was a little consternation there. Are we out of field goal range? Are we going to be able to get 3? In this case, he stepped right up and gave them exactly what they needed.
At their own 20-yard line.
Already at the line, this Philly offense set to go. And thus far, the weather has not slowed this offense down one bit. They've looked good so far in the first half.
They certainly have. And think back to our meeting with the head coach. And we asked him because we saw the forecast for this game, didn't we? We said, hey, have you prepared for this? And he talked about the different drills that they've done in adverse conditions, the wet ball drills, things of that nature. He said, I don't think it's going to slow us down much. We tend to handle it pretty well, and he's been right.
Now left side, a completion to his tight end. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down.
It's a gain of 6. Brings up 3rd and 3.
From the gun, it's Hurts. And he fires one, but incomplete.
That might be the 3rd down stop that they needed because they've had a lot of trouble slowing down this offense in the first half. This might be their opportunity to get off the field.
On is the punt team now as this one's sent away. It'll wind up just a 35-yard punt, no return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Now we get another look at Washington on offense. And this not an easy situation. You're down early, in the elements, you're on the road. How do you get the mojo back?
Well, one thing is to remember that as an offensive player, you have a much better idea of what you're trying to accomplish and where you're trying to go than the defender. So in this case, because you know it, you can make your cuts with a little more decisiveness. Maybe a second fake, some double moves, things of that nature to go and try and put some pressure on the defense.
And very little daylight there. He'll get a couple up to the 44.
the tackle.
Washington on third down. They've converted a third of their opportunities, 3 for 9. They're up against a 3rd-and-1 situation. They'll try and run for it with Connor. And he brings this up to the 46. Good enough for the first.
Well, partner, none of these runs individually have added up to a whole lot.
Now 3 plays, all 3 short runs, but together a first down.
Yeah, it's amazing how the narrative changes when you string them together.
They'll run on first down. Connor, and down he goes at the 49, a 3-yard pickup. 3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7.
A 3-yard pickup brings up 2nd and 7.
Out of the shotgun, they'll run with Connor. Takes to midfield, but no further. Just a yard there.
Tackle made by Garrett.
Washington on third down. They're right at about the league average, 40%, 4 for 10. This will be 3rd and 6. Looking left side and completing it to Thomas. And they'll get him down about 3 yards short of the first.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield.
Take over 1st and 10. At their own.
Now back to work for Miles Sanders in the Philly offense. He's already cruised past the 100-yard mark. We haven't even gone away for halftime yet.
He might not want halftime. All right, why cool off?
Keep everybody here.
He'll stay out on the field and keep going. But all that being said, everything is really working well for them. The play calling's been excellent. The blocking's been terrific. And obviously his vision and legs have hurdled him to this big number so far. We could be seeing something really special here.
And we'll see how much they give him the ball here. And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. The coverage may be too good that time as he breaks away for 19 with his legs and a first down. Throwing from the gun, it's Hurts. And he finds his tight end, it's Hurts. And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or 2 shy of the 30. A good gain again. That's now 31 yards combined on those last 2 plays. And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete.
That one's all about the defender making life difficult for the receiver. Very tough for a guy to hold on to the football through all that contact. He ends up forcing the incompletion.
Being chased out left. And they'll get this one down to about the 20-yard line. Hurts dangerous when he runs that football, and he's got a first.
Containing him is becoming a big problem. We've already seen this once earlier in this drive.
Yeah, and so now 2 times this has happened. Do you adjust something?
Yeah, I think you do. I think that's something about your rush lanes. Try not to either get too wide or too narrow. Make sure someone is there waiting for him to take off.
17 more yards on that one as they keep the drive rolling. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman of the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on. And that's going to be caught for an Eagles touchdown. Travis Fulgham, his 11th touchdown of the year. And the Eagles add 6 to their lead. And all about timing there on that short slant, Charles.
Exactly right. That was timed up so well. The route, the throw, touchdown.
And can you believe it? He misses another one, his 3rd so far. Now he's back out there to boom this one away, maybe with some frustration after the PAT miss. Here's Humphries. A dangerous return man showing it here.
Humphries on the returns. Washington will take over 1st and 10. At their own.
Out there set ready for this next drive, the Washington offense. And with this deficit, you can't have too many more drives like the last drive where you had to punt it away.
You know what I would tell my offense right here? The punter doesn't exist, guys. He doesn't even exist. He's not a team anymore. I just cut him. All right? So you got to go out and create some offense for us here and give us some points. No way does that guy get on the field on this drive.
Poor punter.
Yeah, it wasn't his fault. But somebody, listen, there's got to be casualties at times. We're trying to win a game.
And he'll be tackled right on the chalk of the 45. 10 yards there. Good for. And it's a fumble.
When you're struggling on offense, you're looking for anything possible to get you going. Sometimes you do it like basketball teams that don't normally press. You put a press on, bring people to life, make them move a little bit quicker. Maybe that'll help them as they head towards the half.
And here he'll be brought down a little shy of the 35 at the 36. Now Washington going to use the second of their 3 timeouts, as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. That's complete, middle of the field to Humphries. And he has another first down as they'll get the ball down to the Eagles' 15-yard line.
It's a gain of 20. And the Washington first down.
Inside the red zone here, they'll look to throw. And he'll get this to Antonio Gibson complete. And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9.
Gibson.
And that'll be incomplete with 11 seconds remaining now.
Intended for
Antonio Gibson, the intended target. And it's 3rd and 4.
Third down. And 4 yards.
They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. Incomplete. And we're down to 8 seconds now. So they won't get a touchdown, but here's a chance to at least get 3 to end the first half. From the left hash, should be a fairly easy one here. Hopkins' kick is good. And that will cut the lead down to 13.
25.
Well, not the best first half facing this deficit, but at least they did put 3 on the board before half.
Yeah, it's a little bit like that stormy, cloudy day, and the sun peeks through just for a second. They saw the sun there. They're hoping to see a little bit more of it in the second half.
And ultimately, he stopped right where he would have been if he had simply gone down to a knee at the 25. Final play of the first half, barring a penalty, as they come up on 1st and 10. They'll indeed try to run it out as they start on the ground. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26. An abbreviated halftime show as we get rolling to quarter 3. The final 2 quarters of the NFL regular season are upon us as the second half of Week 17 is underway. And he'll be stopped right around where he would have been had he gone down to a knee, maybe a yard shy of there at the 24. The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. And he's going to bull his way forward to the 48. Now we have Kelsey, slow to get back to his feet. Appears to be shaken up. And in Week 17, let's hope this won't affect him for the playoffs. We'll step aside. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. And now time will be called here as Washington has an injured player down on the field. And this is certainly not what you want to see in the final week of the year. We'll be back. On first down, Sanders. And he's got this down almost to the 20 before he's dropped. Another nice gain. That's now 30 yards between those last 2 plays.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
Just what you want on a first down run. Call it 8 yards, and it's 2nd and 2.
Brings up 2nd and 2. At the 14.
Throwing is Hurts. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
Now, the secondary's really struggled today, but that's a little bit of a measure of revenge, isn't it? And they just followed the basic rules. See ball, knock ball away, turns into a nice play.
And able to get him down, but he does reach the 5. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
Run Eagles. 1st and goal at the 5-yard line.
They'll run with Sanders. And he will push his way forward down to about the 3-yard line. Only a yard on the pickup there. 2nd and goal. So the ball position now at the 3. Here's 2nd and goal. They'll try to run with Sanders. They're able to to get a couple here, but won't get across the plane as they stop it right around the one. A big play forthcoming. Here's 3rd and goal.
Brings up 3rd and goal.
They'll try to run this one in. And he'll go backwards, losing yardage to the 5.
This has not been a fun game for this defense. They've definitely had their share of struggles, but they needed to make a play right there, and they finally get it done on 3rd and goal.
They'll try and throw for it with Hurts. And that is going to be incomplete. They're turned away on 4th and goal. And Washington is able to come up with a goal line stand. So they've gone for it twice now on 4th down in this game, and both times unsuccessful.
I wish we could hear the headsets now between the head coach and the offensive coordinator. Now that they're 0 for 2, if they get into a 3rd situation, head coach might say, hey, you got anything for this one? Might get radio silence back.
It's 2nd and 8.
Here's 2nd and 8. And he goes down. It's a sack. They get him back at his own 3-yard line. Davion Taylor in there to record the 2nd sack of his young NFL career.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
And he's going to be taken down shy of the 5-yard line. Just a 1-yard gain on the play, and that'll mean a call to the punt team as it's 4th down. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe they'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
45 yards, that's what the punt goes for. 5 on the return. And the Eagles will have it, taking over 1st and 10. Jalen Hurts in this offense trotting back out. He's been a good game manager. They're winning here in the 3rd quarter, but really the ground game is where it's been at for them, hasn't it?
So whatever the game plan was, you just got to focus on continuing to run the football. And really that takes the pressure off of the guy throwing it around. Doesn't have to be the focal point. Hand it off, let him chew up the yardage in big plays, and your team's winning. The only people upset, the fantasy guys who may have started him at quarterback in their leagues.
And we'll see if they continue with a recipe of the ground game.
Now that was an excellent run, and when you see that happen, that's when you're seeing guys doing their job, and then some people doing a little bit more. Offensive linemen and tight ends, they're expected to block. But the wide receivers, all they want to do is catch passes, so when they block on a big-time running play and create extra space, you've got to hit the jackpot there.
They'll say no gain on the play, so it was looking good, but nothing there, and now it's 3rd down and inches.
Less than a yard.
On 3rd down, they'll run it with Sanders. And he's got the 1st down yardage before he's brought down at the 42. They'll give him a yard on the play, and it's going to yield a new set of downs.
42-yard line.
On 1st down, Hurts dances by him. Catch made by Fulgham. And he'll work free from 1 tackle, but that's about all as he's taken down.
It's a gain of
5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down.
at the 37-yard line.
On the draw, here's Sanders. And tough sledding. He'll get maybe a yard. Stop short of the 35.
Chase Young.
Let's give a lot of credit to the offensive line. They've been able to move the ball really well on the ground the entire game. And while that wasn't a huge one, that's okay. They'll take them in short, steady bursts.
This short throw caught by Goddard.
Complete to Dallas Goddard.
That's a nice throw out there to the flat, but they defended that pretty well. The hope is to go ahead and put it on him so he can turn and get upfield and gain additional yardage. There just wasn't anywhere to go on that play.
And he connects with Ertz. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. They've been burned twice already on 4th down, but the 3rd time's the charm as they keep the drive moving. So here's a 1st and 10 now, down inside the 20. From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. Caught by the tight end Ertz. And they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line. A gain of 6 there on 1st. 6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. They'll run. It's Sanders. And he'll take it into the end zone for an Eagles touchdown. Miles Sanders, touchdown number 22 on the season. And the Eagles able to push further out in front. And now they'll empty the backfield here as they elect to go for two.
That drive that really increased their cushion felt very military to me. Very precise, methodical, that's one of the words you've taught me. And they just got it done.
And slowly but surely now starting to pull away a little bit. Things looking good for them here in the third quarter.
Not only pulling away, but you mentioned that slowly but surely. You also drain clock, too, with a drive like that. So you really give yourself an advantage.
And they got to be pleased with this. He brings it all the way up to the 40-yard line.
We all know that teams never want to use the word panic. But if they expect to win this game, it has to start right here, right now. That return just set them up for points, and it needs to be a touchdown, not a field goal.
Now a throw over the middle, and he's got it to start the drive. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. Right off the bat, it's a first down to start the drive, 12 yards. They run with Connor. Man, boy, this defense again really making things tough on him as they stop him for no gain.
Brought down right.
He's definitely one of the best defensive tackles in the game. He's been a Pro Bowler the last 5 years running. When you run against Fletcher Cox, good luck.
Antonio Gibson.
That's a really nice job by them picking up the run blitz and detecting it and blocking it and turning it into a nice run. And a lot of times you think if you blitz a running play, you're going to smother it. But a lot of the blitzers, they come in a little bit high. They don't have great leverage, and they're easily blocked and turned to the side.
And now time will be called here as Washington has an injured player down on the field. Still just the third quarter, but they've got to make something happen. I think they know that. They're going for it on fourth. And this is certainly not what you want to see in the final week of the year. We'll be back. Oh, it was hit at the line of scrimmage and intercepted. Picked off at the 40. And they are going to set up shop at the 40-yard line. Charles, there's something special about those big D linemen bringing it in. Off the tip there, really nice coordination.
Very much so, and I think what we've seen, and I'm going to put it at about the last 5 years, maybe a little bit longer, coaches placing a bigger emphasis on ball drills, even for defensive linemen, because possession is so key. When you got a chance to take one away, you want people comfortable with the football, and it paid off there.
He'll take this from the 40 up to the 45 for a gain of 5. After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5.
Brings up 2nd and 5.
Another run here with Sanders. And he'll get it into enemy territory just across midfield at the 49.
That's good.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
Forced out to his left. Now he'll pull it down. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. A nice job there on the escape and scramble. A first down, a 16-yard gain.
3-yard line.
Sanders here as they run out of the gun. And a 5-yard gain as he's down inside the 30 to the 28-yard line.
The ball carrier.
Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain, considering the blitz that they just had against them.
From the 28, it's 2nd and 5. Here's Hurts to throw. Hurts over the middle. And he'll be brought down inside the 20 at the 19.
Like so many tight ends nowadays, they have no problem at all putting him in the slot and letting him go to work, and that's a nice pitch and catch right there for a first down.
From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. He's going to take off with it. And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. The escapability in evidence there as that one good for 15 and a first. For Charles in the past, a lot of people called this offense one-dimensional.
I think you did.
Well,
I think it was you.
I'll be honest, I did. I think the fan base is hoping with this young rookie that they can put some wrinkles in this offense like we just saw.
I think you're exactly right, because we did have that discussion that what we've seen in the past from them.
And this is caught. Touchdown, Philadelphia. Zach Ertz His fourth touchdown on the year. And the Eagles add on to their lead. There was a lot of zip on that pass, and baseball might have called that a frozen rope.
I like it when you bring the diamond into the game. I'm going back to the gridiron. Had some heat on that bad boy. Sometimes you throw a touchdown pass, and sometimes
you throw, what, a touchdown strike?
There you go. That's my man, in concert. I guess when you're hot, you're hot. I mean, I would just go ahead and take the extra point and move on, but apparently they've got something to prove. Almost feels like something was said this week, and they wanted to make sure that they laid it on them in this game.
And they're going to wind up with pretty good starting field position as they get it up past the 35.
Washington will take over first and 10.
Out comes Washington's offense as they get set to take over here. They have been struggling. I would imagine at halftime they went through some possible changes. Well, those changes aren't working, so now where do you go?
I think that now it's much more in their head. And what I mean by that is just what you said. You've gone over the changes. I bet they were pretty clinical at the half, not too emotional. They might need to go to the emotional side because you've got to find something, some spark somewhere. And so far, just being calm hasn't exactly worked.
They need any spark at this point. Well, the first play of the drive lost 4. Now they'll look to move it forward here on 2nd and 14. Stepping up, he'll try and run. And he'll get this up only to about the 33. Only a yard there on the keeper, and that's going to leave him with a 3rd down.
And it's 3rd down.
So they'll get a little extra time to come up with his 3rd down play as we've played 3 quarters. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. They'll set up the screen for Gibson. And a few little style points on the juke, but not much room to maneuver after that. 3 yards, all they could muster there, and it'll bring up 4th down. As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. Catch here, left side, Thomas. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. No reason not to try it there, and they do indeed convert on 4th. So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this second half. Here's 1st and 10. Now a throw for the left sideline, and he's got it. Well, he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. 10 more there and another 1st down.
The Washington first.
So this game was decided a while ago, and that completion there is going to artificially inflate his passing numbers. So right now, the only one really applauding probably his agent as he thinks about angling for a new contract.
And inside the 20 before he's brought down. 12 more yards there and another 1st down. That's now 4 completions in a row. A good bounce back following the interception last drive.
Certainly not letting it affect him, that's for sure. And we all know interceptions are going to happen. So the big trick, don't let it affect you going forward. Most of the good quarterbacks, they just tell the ball boy, get that one out of the rotation, give me a fresh ball, and let's go. He's got his offense moving again.
They get 10 more there, and I believe that'll be enough for another 1st down. It will. This is Connor. And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. A pickup of 4 on 1st down. It'll be 2nd and goal.
A 4-yard gain brings up 2nd and goal at the 2.
From the 2 now, 2nd and goal. And this is taken in for a Washington touchdown. Logan Thomas with touchdown number 8 on the year. And Washington able to cut into that deficit.
Justin Hopkins.
You get down near the goal line, this is where having a sure-handed tight end becomes a luxury. And it pays off big time, especially when the defense sells out against the run. He finds himself open for an easy touchdown.
Extra point through the snowflakes, up and good. And the lead now down to 20. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This one fielded at the 5. And able to get this out to the 25.
1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
The Eagles offense making their way back out as we take a look at the playoff picture in the NFC. And these guys locked into that number 1 seed. That's been a foregone conclusion for a while now. The question on everyone's mind, can they finish the regular season a perfect 16-0?
And it all comes back to philosophy of the organization, philosophy of the head coach, and of course the locker room itself. What do the players want to do? And I think what most teams would do in this situation is approach it, let's win every game, but let's be smart about doing it. So it doesn't mean that they're going to go all out if indeed they do need to rest a few people.
16 yards, a first down. And carries like that, that's how they're going to continue to salt this thing away here, Charles, in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, how about that? A new set of downs. Clock continues to move. No better way to close out a game than to tap those mastodons you have up front and say, guys, keep pounding them. Let's keep the ball, keep their offense on the sidelines, and let's close this one out. Oh, that's one to warm the hearts of all those old school football players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run, got behind his pads, bowled over a few people. Look at that one, right up the gut.
Saw through 3 quarters, no reason to lighten up now. He'll get 3 up to midfield.
Tackle made. Right at
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where there'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
Eagles.
No doubt those are the types of carries they're looking for here, Charles. The lead in the fourth quarter. This is when coaches that have a reliable running game, they breathe a little easier on the sideline.
Yeah, they love the idea that they can take the air out of the football at this point of the game. That means they're really counting on that offensive line, counting on the runners, taking care of the football. Because you're going to tell your quarterback, hey, no time to be a hero. We're not going to throw it here. Just eat up that clock. And if you have the ball, they can't score.
Now a loose football. The ball comes out. And does Washington have it? They do.
Scott, the ball carrier. Fumble up.
In today's NFL, most teams don't have as many goals for the game like we used to have, where you checked off your boxes. But 0 turnovers, that's a universal. And while it won't likely cost them in this game, they're going to regret the fact that they coughed one up here.
Yeah, their first blemish. They had mistake-free football prior. So here's a 1st and 10 now, down inside the 20. Shotgun snap, and then a give to Sanders. And just a couple yards there down to the 17.
The ball carrier.
This defense starting to buckle down when they need to, and right now they're winning this fourth quarter, losing the game, but they're winning in the fourth quarter.
And what a fine line it is about what they're trying to get done, because they're down, so they obviously need the football, need a score. But they can't be so aggressive as to give up their edge, their gaps, and have the offense hit up with a big play.
The Eagles on 3rd down. They've converted 3 times in 8 chances. This time they face a 3rd and 2. And that's going to be caught for an Eagles touchdown. Travis Fulgham, his 2nd touchdown of the game, giving him 12 on the season. And the Eagles take advantage of good field position on the turnover to cash this one in. He has really settled in throwing the football.
The Eagles will set up for the 2-point.
They had to go to the monitor, get an extra look. That's what the technology is for. And this touchdown will count. And this is going to be caught. So add 2 more to the lead as they continue to pour it on here in the 4th.
I think this is just going to be a function of the times we live in now. Very similar to the bat flip in baseball. Everyone's got to start to get comfortable with this. But to me, this is just rubbing it in. You got a big lead. Go ahead and take the extra point. One thing to keep in mind, though, karma's still out there. And sometimes it has a way of catching up with you.
Takes over 1st and 10. at their own 36
And
yards.
as this offense makes their way back out, NFC playoff race time, we give you a look at what's going on there. And it's all come down to this, hasn't it? Final week of the regular season. As this year's playoffs play out anything like the regular season has gone, could be in for a wild and fun month of January.
And we can break the rules because we can look ahead. All right, there's not a coach out there that's ever said to their team, all right, let's look three weeks down the road. It's always right here, right now. Forget that. Think about what the playoffs are going to look like. The teams that we see that are already in, the teams that are trying to get in, we could have some great matchups.
They'll look to throw now on first down. Throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete. He couldn't get the hook up there that time with Thomas, but it's going to be second down.
That incompletion is not a surprise with the way that this one has gone, and the frustration, the body language is evident everywhere. This team, they've really been put through the ringer in this one.
Now left side on the swing pass. They get 6. That'll leave them with 3rd and 4.
To Antonio Gibson. It's a gain
You
of
got the big lead defensively. Willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
Again, he'll drop to throw. Got an open man, finds Gibson. And he's able to get it to the 33. Good enough for a first down. Able to get what they need to keep the drive going with a 6-yard pickup on 3rd down. Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he's taken down, but not before reaching the 10-yard line. Call that a very strong gain of 24. And with that last play, he's now up over that 300-yard mark.
And in today's NFL, it almost feels routine. And I hate that when you talk about a 300-yard passing game. To me, 300 yards still signifies excellence, and he's achieved that in this performance.
A good run on first down, and now they contemplate a 2nd and goal situation. Again, it'll be counter. And he goes backwards on this one, losing yardage to the 7. They call that a loss of 6 yards. And it's 3rd down now. From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. And he will not be able to hang on to the contact. It's incomplete. The coverage strong, and now it's 4th down.
He did a fine job there of not hitting it before the ball arrived, and I've got to tell you, you can often mistime that play because of the angles of approach. When you're going to get him, sometimes you panic as well and think, I've got to be there right now. Instead, in this case, timed it perfectly and knocked it free.
They can't hook up here on the 4th down pass attempt, and the Eagles defense able to hold. So a tough pill to swallow there. A would-be touchdown pass in and out of his hands on 4th.
Sometimes it just comes down to execution, doesn't it? Because we're always questioning, should they go for it, should they not? Is it the right play call, is it not? In this situation, everything was right except for the finish. You have to catch the ball and convert.
at the 12-yard line.
They'll go again with Sanders. And he'll be about a full yard shy of the 20 at the 19-yard line. 6 yards to pick up, and that's a first down.
1st and 10 at the 19-yard line.
They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
The 18-yard line.
On 2nd down, it's Sanders. They get 9 yards back on the run there, and they're left with a much more makeable 3rd and 2. They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. From the gun, it's Hurts. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. 10 yards there and an Eagle first down. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's Eagle football here as we get you reset. And not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. Now at first down, Sanders not finding a whole lot as he'll get forward for about 3.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
Brings up 2nd and 7. at the 40-yard line.
Another run with Sanders.
Sanders again.
Vision is so important for the man in the middle because his ability to look through all the clutter that's happening in front of him, diagnose a play, and then go make it and finish it, that's when the great ones know that they have the goods.
On the run, he'll let it go deep, right? This is caught inside the 15. And all the way down to the 12. A big play there for the Eagles on third down. 45 yards. Boy, another big play late here for an offense, Charles, that certainly has had its fair share of big plays.
Coverage has been a problem. Partner, they're less than 2 minutes ago in the game, which means that this challenge was initiated by the fellows in New York.
And if you're the coach, you're thinking, thank you, New York. Yeah, give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
2nd and 6 at the 10-yard line.
They'll keep it on the ground. It's Sanders. And he will maneuver his way down to about the 7. Now we'll get a stoppage here as it appears we've got an Eagle slow to get up. And in week 17, let's hope this won't affect him for the playoffs. We'll step aside. And this effort won't be enough as they rally up to stop him a couple of yards short. Just a yard on the run there, and that's going to bring us to a 4th down. He's hit pay dirt a lot this year, but not that time.
Yeah, I'm tracking right there with you. You're exactly right. He's found the end zone plenty of times. No way I can find any fault with the call. He may not have scored there, but of course you're going to give it to him.
And give him another 6. It's caught for a touchdown, and the blowout continues.
Touchdown!
For them, this train, it just keeps rolling, doesn't it? Well on their way to yet another victory.
Yeah, it's almost a runaway, isn't it? And you just wonder how anyone can stop this. They got full momentum going, full confidence going, but it's not just their own confidence that's leading them. It's the lack of confidence against their opponents now because they see them coming and think, we've got no shot to beat this team.
So with the missed PAT in his rearview mirror, he goes back out to kick this one off. Here's Humphries. Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32.
Washington will take over 1st and 10.
Nick Mullins now heading out, the subject of our player spotlight. What can they do? Out there set and ready for this next drive, the Washington offense. And you see a lot of frustrated faces as they are inching closer to a 4th straight loss. And that'll be incomplete. We do have a penalty flag down, however. Let's see what that's about. So flag for the contact, pass interference.
And I know that you're going to look at me and roll your eyes, and rightfully so, because you know what I'm going to say. Doesn't the defender have a right to the football as well?
No, I don't like defenders.
That's because you spent too much time with me. Okay, I'll side with you on this one. It's the correct call.
That's a good way to start the drive. 17 yards and a 1st down.
17 yards. 1st down.
Big offensive explosion help leading them to victory. And the defensive guys, they're just saying, hey, put those points up every week. We'll just keep winning.
They will gratefully accept them, won't they? It makes their job that much easier when they're scoring that many points. Allows them to play with a totally different style and a different flow.
So for the Eagles, they've indeed run the table here on the regular season. They finish a perfect 16-0